G'day folks. Well, I've got my parts back from the machine shop. Rods, pistons and crankshaft. And goodness me, hasn't he done a nice job? Really attention to detail, as you would expect. But this little machine shop that I've been taking my parts to, he is well known, well respected for quality work, and I really feel this guy, or the brothers, are really on the money when it comes to doing what you want, offering advice, and just produce quality workmanship. They really have, second to none. And what they've done there, they've fitted those rod bolts off to the conrods, and they've resized for the bearing. And I'm running now a 10th thou thicker bearing to compensate for the machining on the insides. They've been lightened. They come within 5 grams of the original rods, so that's terrific. It's absolutely terrific. He's really taken a little bit off there and off the top of the top part of the rod, and they're all the same weight. The whole rotating assembly from the flex plate, crankshaft through to the dampener has been fully balanced, and he's just really done a beautiful job. Quality. So even the wrist pins, or the pins that he put in, are really even. The original rods that were on them, they didn't even press them in very even. You know, one like it was sort of, even when the rod was centered in the piston, it was hanging out like that. Well, these are really in center, if you understand what I'm talking about. You know, they just take the time to get it perfect either side, and it's just really done well. Beautiful job. The crank has been linished. There was a few little tiny marks on it, and he felt it, we just give it a light linish, and that's come up beautiful, that crankshaft. He said it's a really good crank too. He was very happy with it, so it's nice to know. Minimal wear on the thrust for its age, so yes, he said you'll be very pleased with it, the way it's all been balanced and come together. And that's the secret. This old motor, when I had it, you could feel it vibrating, especially when you got up around 5,000 onwards. Just never felt real smooth. The 355 was silky smooth. It was unbelievable. Even just up around, bubbling around 6,000 revs, you just didn't feel any vibrations. It was so smooth. So, oh look, I'm stoked guys, I'm really stoked. What I'm going to do, my plan is now, is to put the motor together. I think this is the first thing I want to do. I'll clean the block up, get him prepped, nice and cleaned up, and I'll put it all, start assembling it. And I'll get the heads on, camshaft in, sort of pretty much all sort of to that stage. What would you call a long assembly, long motor assembly. Then I'm going to tackle the pickup, because I just want the crank in and all sort of buttoned up, and then I'll fiddle. Sorry, I'm just excited, guys. I really am. I'm struggling to bloody talk here at the minute, but I'll get through it. I'll try and get this pickup all sorted and the correct length, and yeah, I prefer to do it this way than try and dummy fit it now. And if I run into issues once it's assembled, it's going to be a pain. So yes, that's going to start happening pretty much straight away. I think that's sort of my next job, is to start prepping the block. Now, guys, I'll tell you what I've been doing as well today. I've had a little play around, and I've pulled this, we're talking transmission now guys, the transmission coolers. I've pulled the front 2 coolers off. Well, first, I have done that, but I'll get back to what I've actually, I think I've found maybe a potential problem. First off, I just pulled the lines off the gearbox and I put the air hose in there, and I basically just wanted to get rid of the fluid out of the lines, out of all my transmission coolers. Anyway, I put it in there and clamped him up, and I started to blow on it, and the delay was unbelievable. I basically got all the fluid out as much as I could, but the delay, if you understand what I'm saying, when I push on the blower, there was a good second to second and a half, nearly 2 seconds of a delay before we started to get any airflow through the other end of it. And even then it was struggling. So I thought, okay, just memorise that. And what I did, I pulled the front 2 coolers off, and I'll show you that. It's all there. Pulled them off, and I've got about 8 feet of line, and I've got joiners here. I'll show you. Oh, I've got about 3 rotten joiners I've put in there to join the pipes and all that, and then I've just got the big cooler on it now. I don't know if you can see the big one that I run up there, and I've tested it, and the difference is unbelievable. This, I just have to quickly press on that. Within a tenth or two, I'm getting good flow. It's unbelievable, the flow that I've been getting just by getting rid of all those other 2 coolers up the front and all that extra line. So I think I'm onto something, guys. I really do. I'll show you this too, because when I was in town yesterday picking up the bits, I went and got myself a gauge. This is a 0 to 200 PSI, or 220 PSI I think, yeah. Yeah, 230, sorry. 230 PSI with some hydraulic line and all the associated fittings for testing it. Now I did note on this here when I pulled it off, right on that end there, I'd actually cut it off with like a pipe cutter. It was all burred on the inside too, so that to me is a restriction. So I've actually gone in there with a 1/4 inch drill bit and drilled them out, and I've got a nice, you know, inside flow back again on those. And this, I think this was a 5/16 T, but on the inside it was way restricted. So what I've gone and done, I've put a 1/4 inch drill bit in, and I've drilled that out too, guys. So trying to get the flow. This is going to be the T for the gauge. So I actually, when I drilled it, it started to bend on me, and I've actually put a little tiny hole there, but I've brazed it up, and I'll run with that. But that's got good flow now, and we're just going to test it with the gauge and keep an eye on the line pressure. They say sort of no more than 50 PSI. After that, the converter can push out and cause issues. And what I want to do then, once I sort of get that established, I'm going to get another one of these coolers the same, and I want to run it, they call it in parallel. So basically you branch off, not in series but in a parallel setup. So you branch off, and the 2 lines, separate lines, run to each of the coolers, and then the 2 lines come back out and branch into one again. So you can still keep the flow and offer a reasonable amount of cooling. My gut's telling me 2 of these will be better than the other 2 that I had up the front. So yes, I should be able to improve on that. I'm still going to do my thrust bearing assembly, but I will dive into that when I get the engine in the car. Then I'll mock it up and start playing around with it, because I feel that I really want to do it. So yes, look guys, we're really on track now at the minute, so things are starting to move along. I'm excited, I really am. So thanks Rick, you're the man. You are the man when it comes to these, supplying me the rods and the bolts. I'm very thrilled with it. all that work that I've had done was around $800. So it wasn't too bad, guys, considering what he did. So yes, I'm very happy, very happy. And another good bit of news, guys. This, look, it's just getting even better now. I'm absolutely thrilled. I was talking to him, the dude in the machine shop. He says, yes, you can weld these. This is the old crank, the 355 crank. And it's, yes, you can successfully weld that, build it all up and machine it back, and we can lineage this crank and you should be good to go. He's done them before and he said he's got no worries about doing this one for me, and we'll run this crank again. So that's fantastic news. So for a smallish price to get this one, the other one going again, because I've got all the bits, I may put another camshaft in. This is just a slightly bigger camshaft, another 4 or 5 degrees duration, basically the same lift, and we'll get this one as a spare. So fantastic. Alright guys, well, once I start putting it together, I'm actually going to do what I'll do. I'll set it up on the stand when I'm dropping the crank, and we'll have a talk, and if you guys are interested and want to watch me start assembling it, I'll put it up. I'll sit on the stand and just have a bit of a talk through, and because it's great reference for anyone that wants a bit of an idea on how to sort of put a short motor together. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I've done a couple of these now, and I'm fairly confident on them. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, it helps having a good machine shop. One that goes out on a limb and is willing to help you and talk you through it, because it really gives you the confidence then to assemble a short motor back together. Because if you don't have a guy that in your machine shop that it's basically just hands you the bits and say see you later, well, I don't think that's good business. The guys I take my bits to are really, they're fantastic, they really are. So yes, I'm really excited. So, and he said too, I'll mention it now while I'm thinking of it, we can fix the main cap. I think it was number 2, I think, or number 4 if we're talking, yeah, the fourth one back. He can weld the outer sides of the cap, machine it down and get it nice and snug back in the register, because I said the others are perfect, and when he does that he'll line bore it, and then you put an oversized bearing in it again to compensate for the machine work. So yes, I'll talk about it a bit further when I sort of assemble this, guys. And look, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about it all, but for the ones that sort of are interested and sort of thinking about having a bit of a dabble at it, well, I'll talk you through it, and you know, when the camera's on something like that, you can get a bit of an idea. And look, a picture's worth to me 1,000 words. So yes, all right guys, well, I'll catch you later.